On June 12th, at Medha IT Park on the outskirts of Vijayawada, N. Chandrababu Naidu took oath for the fourth time as the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh.
Nara Chandrababu Naidu ane nenu శాసనం ద్వారా నిర్మితమైన భారత రాజ్యాంగం పట్ల నిజమైన విశ్వాసం విధేయత చూపుతానని భారతదేశ సార్వభౌమాధికారాన్ని సమగ్రతను కాపాడుతానని ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ రాష్ట్ర ముఖ్యమంత్రిగా.
There was a roar of support from the TDP cadres, also called the Yellow Army. The run-up to the Assembly and Lok Sabha elections in Andhra Pradesh had actually been the proverbial trial by fire for Naidu. But he had fought back, and the TDP, Janasena and BJP alliance cornered 164 of 175 assembly seats. The incumbent YSRCP under Jagan Mohan Reddy was decimated to a mere 11 seats in the assembly. With the Telugu Desam party's 16 MPs providing the much needed stability to the BJP-led NDA government at the centre, all eyes are on Andhra Pradesh and its Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu. It is Thursday, the 18th of July. From the Economic Times, I'm your host Nidhi Sharma and you're listening to The Morning Brief. So why is the spotlight on Andhra Pradesh today? The biggest reason is obviously political. N. Chandrababu Naidu, who is better known as CEO and not really Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, has been credited with making Hyderabad a technology hub between 1995 and 2004. Now back in the saddle at the state level and providing numerical strength to Modi 3.0, Naidu is crucial. And this time, he's a man on an urgent mission. Bring investments to Andhra Pradesh and decimate any political opposition to his party. It has just been 1 month since Naidu has taken charge, and to call it an eventful one would be an understatement. This 1 month has seen Naidu bringing out detailed white papers and taking 2 trips to Delhi to push for more funds for the state and kickstart stalled projects. But what has stood out is Naidu's campaign against his rival party YSRCP. Within 10 days of TDP assuming power, on June 22, YSRCP's under-construction central office in Tadapalli in Guntur district was demolished by municipal authorities for illegal construction. YSRCP was also served notices for its offices in other districts as well. Taking to micro-blogging site X, Jagan Mohan Reddy uttered the word Vendetta. He said, Chandrababu has taken Vendetta politics to the next level. Like a dictator, he got YSRCP's central office demolished with excavators and bulldozers, which was almost complete. Now, the 3 white papers have also put numbers to decisions taken by Jagan Mohan Reddy as Chief Minister. On June 28, Naidu released a white paper on Polavaram irrigation project, which has red-flagged Jagan administration's improper planning and scheduling of work, change of executing agencies midway, delays in finalization of designs, and mobilization of required men and machinery. Within 5 days of this, he brought out another white paper on Amravati, and then on July 9th, a third one on power sector, which blamed the Jagan administration of taking decisions that cost the exchequer lakhs of crores. So, how credible are these numbers? What is the Naidu government trying to do here? Is this vendetta politics? To understand all this, we have with us Mr. Nara Lokesh, who is TDP National General Secretary and Andhra Pradesh's HRD and IT Minister. Welcome to the show, Mr. Nara Lokesh. So, Lokesh, the government has brought out three white papers and now a fourth one. What was the need for them and how credible are these numbers given?
Maybe if you look at it between 2019 and 2024, YCP government was like cancer which ate away each and every institution in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So not only have all the institutions been debt-ridden, I think the larger context is that even the systems and processes have been totally destroyed. And there has been systemic corruption that has eaten each and every institution. If you look at even Amravati or even the power sector reforms, all these projects were started by Mr. Naidu. In a very systematic way, he built these projects up. But when the new government came 2019, they completely destroyed all these sectors. Since 2019, we've been tracking how each of these were destroyed and the decisions that led to the destruction. So this is not a new subject for Telugu Desam Party. For the people of Andhra Pradesh, it might be new, but for Telugu Desam Party, the systematic destruction is something that we've tracked, we've documented. So once we came back to power, we got, of course, our expert committee also to sit, give their inputs, and based on our past experiences, we released the white papers.
So, what is the most worrisome thing right now which you are trying to correct through all these interventions?
I would say brand destruction. Andhra Pradesh in 2014, post the bifurcation, started at zero. We were able to build momentum to bring about investments, focus areas, centers of excellence. You're able to create, get the entire economic engine going and creating jobs. But what has happened in the last 5 years is the brand Andhra has been destroyed. So today we are having to start with minus 100. So we need to rebuild the brand, rebuild the confidence both in our citizens, investors, and then start building back again our journey and the momentum that we've lost completely. So if there's one issue, I mean, through all these white papers, if you observe, the one common theme that's ending up is that the brand Andhra Pradesh has been destroyed. And we've gone back by almost 30 years. So it's very important that we need to bring that confidence back to our citizens, our investors, so that we can get the entire economic cycle of Andhra Pradesh again kickstarted. And our first promise to our citizens is to create 20 lakh jobs in 5 years. So it's very, very important to get started on that agenda.
Lokesh, let's discuss the early actions of the TDP government. There were strong statements from you about Rushikonda and actions against the YSR CP office in Tadapalli. The court even intervened, advising caution. Jagan Mohan Reddy has called this vendetta politics. So, do you think the TDP government is engaging in revenge or are you following the rule book?
No, if you look at it, Rushikonda, we have not done anything there. I mean, the former chief minister spent 500 crores of public money to build a palace for himself. It violated NGT norms, and now the state is having to pay 200 crore fine. It's a 700 crore vanity project. And all we did was, in fact, we didn't open it up. The Our leaders there went and they wanted to see the project because it's been hidden from public eye, and we exposed it. Number one. And number two, coming to the Tadepalli office that they were planning to build, it has no permissions. It had no permissions. In fact, the notice was served on them when they were in power, and the due process of law was followed, and then action was taken. So there is nowhere where we have gone and without any notice and in a brash way we have taken decisions. Number one. Number two, if you look at the court judgment, it says that majority of the buildings do not have permissions. If someone builds an illegal building, then won't they get a notice? They will get a notice and everyone gets a notice. In fact, what did the court say? Court said follow the due process of the law, which is exactly what we have done. Nothing beyond it.
So,
Two,
did
if
you all serve notices? Did you all
absolutely,
serve
in fact,
notices to all the
absolute. All their offices where they did not take permissions, notices were served. The Tadikonda office, where we were forced to demolish it because notices were served during their time. During the entire model code of conduct, notices were served. And then the due process was followed, and then the commissioner said this is illegal building and it has to be removed.
But somehow, Lokesh, when we sit here in Delhi and look at Andhra politics, we see years and years of, to and fro between YSRCP and TDP. Who started it first, we would never know. But there is always like one party comes to power, they go and target the other one.
I do not agree with your statement. Between 2014 and 2019, Telugu Desam Party did not take any decisions with regards to changing any legal framework or sort of revoking any laws that were enacted by the earlier administration. Number one. Number two, we never went after Jagan Mohan Reddy. Let's be clear, we never went after him. He did a padayatra. He was given full security, enabling him to do a padayatra. Vendetta politics was brought to the state by Jagan Mohan Reddy. Between 2019 and 2024, all the policies of the previous government were overturned, number one. Number two, close to, if I'm right, 2,500 cases were filed against my cadre, my leaders, including on me and Mr. Naidu himself. I have 23 cases filed against me in 5 years. Mr. Naidu himself was sent to jail for 53 days. And if you look at it, after Telugu Desam Party came into power, what is the vendetta politics that we've done in the last 45 days? In fact, it is YSRCP leaders who are still beating my cadre. I have lost 3 of our Karyakartas in the last 40 days to the violence of YCP. With a lot of patience, we are controlling the law and order situation in Andhra Pradesh. So, if there is a political party to be blamed for vendetta politics, that is YCP. And as Telugu Desam Party, we have never promoted vendetta politics. We do not stand for it, and our track record speaks for it.
Mr. Naidu is in Delhi now a second time in 10 days, and we are seeing all sorts of statistics about, the funds that you use. So what does Andhra Pradesh require, and what kind of handholding is needed right now?
So, Nidhi, if you look at it, the bifurcation of Andhra Pradesh were against the interests of the people of Andhra Pradesh. Last 5 years, there's been a tremendous amount of destruction where the entire economic engine has sort of stalled. So, help us out, handhold us so that we can kickstart the entire engine of economic growth for about 3 to 5 years. And subsequent to that, we will contribute to the nation. So, our agenda is, looking at any sector. Definitely, as a state, we would like to get our own share of it, if not more, and attract investments, attract Government of India institutions to come to our state. So we need a favorable, dispensation, and that's exactly what we've asked. Like Polavaram, we would love to fast track it and finish it because we can get water from Polavaram all the way to Rayalaseema, which is a drought-ridden part of Andhra Pradesh. So certain projects, which is a national project already, so we would like funds to be released faster so we can finish the project in a time-bound manner.
But there's a lot of history to this. In 2019, as soon as Jagan Mohan Reddy came to power in Andhra Pradesh, he pulled down Praja Vedika, a rupees 8 crore convention center Chandrababu Naidu had built. He also cancelled all contracts awarded during Naidu's reign, which he thought were unusually high or unfair awards. Naidu's security detail was also pruned. In 2023, Naidu was arrested in a skill development scam and lodged in a jail. This kind of political rivalry is not specific to Andhra. Every state with strong regional parties has such tales of political one-upmanship to tell. Take, for example, Tamil Nadu. AIADMK's former chief, Jayalalitha, inherited her mentor MGR's rivalry with DMK Supremo M. Karunanidhi. There was the infamous instance in the assembly when Jayalalitha's sari was tugged at and she vowed never to step inside the building till she had decimated DMK. West Bengal and Kerala are replete with incidents of violence where not just top leaders but also the cadres are targeted. This is exactly what YSRCP is saying. It is vendetta, but we didn't do it. I am joined by YSRCP's 3-term MP from Rajampet, Mr. PV Midhun Reddy. Welcome to the show, Mr. Reddy.
Yeah, thank you for taking me on this podcast show.
Mr. Reddy, the TDP government has come out with 3 white papers, one on power sector, then on Amravati and Polavaram Dam, and accused your party's government of taking decisions that have cost the exchequer between 2019 and 2024 till you were in power thousands of crores of rupees. So, how do you see these allegations?
See, well, basically, the TDP has been accusing us of being a government giving a lot of free shops and giving a lot of freebies to the public. But ultimately, what happened is they promised what they could not deliver. And our leader, Vice Jagannath Reddy, was honest enough to say that it's not possible and I can only do this, and the rest has to go for the other things to run the government, and I can't give false promises. But what Mr. Chandrababu Naidu has done is he's given a lot of false promises. And if you see the manifesto, he's promised uh, way above what the state can actually deliver. So now he's coming up in this form of this white papers and trying to put the blame on us. But if you see, for example, Polovaram, a white paper on Polovaram, it's a very important. Polovaram is lifeline for our state. And if you see Polovaram, if we go back to 2014 and 19, when Mr. Chandrababu was part of the India government. And Polovaram being a national project, it has to be executed by the center. But for whatsoever reasons known best to him, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu spoke to the central government being part of the India then, and he said the state will execute the project. And that was the major blunder which has happened.
So, one of the offices in Tadepalli of YSRCP's office was demolished,
Yes.
and others were also served notices. Just earlier this week, the Chief Minister, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, gave an entire presentation accusing YSRCP of usurping land. How well placed are these allegations? Because YSRCP is now coming around as a party which was, when it was in government, used and misused funds, and that's the impression that is coming across.
See, like basically he's trying to create that sort of impression. But if you see the same GOs, what Telugudesam party got their land allotted for their party offices, we also got land allotted in the same GOs. So the demolition was for some very flimsy reason, saying that there's a very small permission was not taken, and even the court took it very seriously for the demolition, and even the officers were called to the court for towing the line of TDP and being a part of this vindictive politics. If you see in the state for the past few weeks, our state there's been a huge incidence of post-poll violence. A lot of people have lost their lives. We've been trying to lodge cases, everything, but the cases are also not being taken up. And the whole law and order is in a state of coma, actually. A lot of people have left their villages, they have left their places. The worst part is the poor people houses have been dozed down just because they've been part of the YSRCP campaign. And even public property has been damaged very badly. So a lot of issues actually.
Sir, when YSRCP government came to power in 2019, one of the actions it took was to demolish Praja Vedika. And then a lot of cases were foisted. Then last year, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu was arrested in that. And right now we see that YSRCP offices are being demolished. Then a lot of white papers are coming out. So it seems that Andhra politics is dominated. With this to and fro. One
No,
party comes to power.
see, if you go to the case of Praja Vedika was not any TDP property. It was a government property, but it was blatantly built in the course of River Krishna, and it is an illegal building. So that was demolished as a part of that. So we can't compare demolition of Praja Vedika with demolishing YSRCP party offices right in the center of the town. So if you see Chandrababu Naidu's cases, they were not done immediately after coming to power. And after extensive thing, the cases were fostered only on things what the ED and the income tax did. So if you see, the income tax department gave a press release which said that income tax raids led to one Srinivas, who is personal secretary of Chandrababu Naidu, and it led to trail of more than 2,000 crores. It's not what we are saying. It is a statement of the income tax department. And ED had booked cases. ED is not part of the state government, so it's not comparable, or you can't say it was part of vindictive or politics of vendetta.
Right now, all eyes are on the union budget, which will be presented next week. Chandrababu Naidu has just wrapped up his second visit to Delhi in 10 days. While on the face of it, he's not planning to rock the NDA boat, but what if his demands are not accommodated in the budget? This is all for today. Hope you enjoyed listening to this episode of the Morning Brief. I'm your host Nidhi Sharma, signing off. This episode was brought to you by sound designer Amrit Reddy and producer Surohini Jain. Executive producers Anirban Chaudhary and Arijit Barman. Thank you for listening, and if you like this episode, do spread the word. All new episodes of the Morning Brief podcast drop every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. It streams on Amazon Prime Music, JioSaavn, Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, and of course, ET's own audio platform, ET Play. Have a great week ahead. All clips used in this episode belong to their respective owners. Credits mentioned in the description.